do some yes, no, medium questions. Let's see what happens. I haven't done that before on here, so I don't think I have anyway. So we're just going to give this a whirl, see how it goes. Just doing yes, no questions. Can only give it a go, can't I? See if anyone comes on here. And hopefully it works. Just see what happens. Now remember, this is all for entertainment purposes, and we'll see how that goes. I know I get pretty hectic on TikTok. Sorry about that, guys. It gets pretty hectic on TikTok when I do this. So, yeah. Hopefully someone will come on and we can get the ball rolling. Let's see what happens. What's this? I want to check out that. Okay. Turn on. I touched something I shouldn't have touched. I do that all the time. Something I shouldn't have touched. I do that all the time. We have so many people on TikTok that do this. I'm trying to build up my YouTube platform, but my TikTok one seems to go off. I love that my TikTok platform goes up. Hi, I'm doing yes, no free questions, but follow Angels Readings Mountain Life. Thanks for the hearts, and share this live. And write your question and let me know that you're following and shared the page. Hey, I'm a medium, I am accredited medium, psychic, clairvoyant, aura reading, Reiki person, past life reader, past life residue worker, residual energy, energy worker. I read energy. I just play with these while I do reading your energy. So if you want a yes, no question answered, follow Angels Readings Mountain Life and share the live and write your question and we'll get going. So it's nice to see you on here. Hi, Indy, Freezy. Guess what? Don't know what you're thinking. Lots of things. I'm just holding the cards. It's just something that whenever you see people doing the medium, psychic, clairvoyant stuff, they've always got cards in their hands. I just hold them. I'll read energy. Like I said, I'm an energy reader. I read energy. But I just play with the cards. But if you want a card, you can have a card. But I prefer just to read energy. So that's what I do. That's why I play with the cards. Yeah. That's the only reason I do the cards. And like because I've been doing this all my life, when I do, there you go. What do you mean? There you go. If you book me for a reading, all I need is your first name, and then I just start writing about what's going on and it just flows. Just flows. I just enjoy what I do. If you don't want anything to do with this, then jump off the channel. If you're not interested in having a yes/no question answered, then jump off the channel. Because, yeah. So, and like, that's just one book, 2 books, 3 books of just clients, readings, another book. It's just like 1%. I've got a trunk loads of books that I've got clientele in. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Oh, thank you. If I remind you of your grandma. Well, I am a grandma, nana. That's what I am. Grandma, nana. But yeah, if you want a yes, no, just follow Angel's Readings Mountain Life and share the page. And then write your question and I'll answer it. And if you're, I'm also on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, I'm on TikTok as Angel's Reading. So go check it out. Yeah. I just thought I'd give YouTube a try today, a whirl, see what happens. If it doesn't work, I'll come back another day. But yeah, gotta try. Yeah, gotta try. Yeah, I read pets that have crossed over. I read loved ones that have crossed over. I've done expos in Melbourne for years. I did expos in Melbourne all along Gippsland, Melbourne, and yeah, I was the only one in the expos that wasn't using cards. I just was working with energy, and that's what I do. I'm an energy worker. I can sense if there's an illness and work with that illness. What else? Yeah, don't know. I do lots of things. Yeah, do a few things with energy. So yeah, if you're interested, just follow the page and share it, and we'll see where we go. Could sit here and talk about first time I ever noticed something about myself that was, well, I didn't know it was different, but I was about 18 months. My mum said I didn't walk till I was 15 months, and I do remember grubbing around on the lino back in the days and seeing everything just shiny, sparkle. That's why I wear the sparkles, like the sequences. I love things that just shine. And then what was the next thing? I was about 9 years old when I sat in front of my mum's mirror and didn't know that this was a thing back then. And I just sat cross-legged in front of my mum's mirror and looked into it, not looked at me. I looked into the mirror and I went, what does my husband look like? What does my future husband look like? And I seen this silhouette of a curly, sandy blonde-haired man with blue eyes. But there was also a silhouette behind him. It took a little while, it didn't take long, but it took a little while. And as soon as I seen it, I went, thank you, got up, ran outside and started playing. Didn't remember it for years and years. Then the next big thing that happened was I used to study palm reading for years as a teenage girl. I'd got palmistry books given to me. My mum had a great big palm reading poster in the toilet. So every time you sat down on the toilet, you were facing this bloody palm reading poster that had all the details in it. And I learned all the mountains, I learned the lines, but with the books I learned the shapes of the hand, I learned the nail, I learned about the divisions between each finger, I learned about the distance between the pointy and the thumb, I learned about the shape of the thumb, I learned about the bending of the thumb, I learned about the rings on there. And it was just incredible. I kept learning. It was just like I learned and learned and learned. But when I was 20, was I 20? No, I was 19. When I was 19, I was living on a highway, the Princes Highway, between a little place called Sale and Stratford on the Princes Highway in East Gippsland. And it was 7 o'clock at night. It was Friday night. I was supposed to be home a bit earlier, but I had to go to the laundromat to do my sister's washing, and I think I had one pair of jeans that I just wanted to wash, and she begged me, please, 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 go and do the washing. So I went there after work, and I tried my damnedest to convince my best friend to come home with us, with me on that Friday night to party with us. Come party, come party. She went, no, because she had really, really strict parents, and she wasn't 18. I was. And I'd done the washing, and I was driving out of Sale on the back road, and I heard this. Turn left. And I went, I don't want to turn left. And I didn't want to turn left because it took you down to the driving theatre, like the old pictures, the driving theatre or the drive-in. And I didn't really like going down that road. I liked going on the road I was on, so I didn't. And then I wasn't driving with the seatbelt on, and I was doing 100 kilometers an hour, which was 60 on the speedo, and I heard, put your seatbelt on. And I went, I don't want to put my seatbelt on. And I kept driving, and I didn't put my seatbelt on. And then I only got a little way down the road, and I heard, put your seatbelt on. And I went, I heard it that time. So I drove with one knee, and I got my seatbelt, put it on, and as I was driving, just a little way, I went, what's that? Because I could see orange lights across the road. And I didn't understand, why was there orange lights across the road? And I hadn't slowed down, but I could see these orange lights. And all of a sudden, it dawned on me what it was. It was a truck reversing into a paddock where they were delivering cows into this paddock. And because the truck's headlights were in the opposite paddock and it was crossed the road and you couldn't drive, you had to slow down and stop. But I didn't know what it was. Lucky I heard those voices say, put your seatbelt on. And I went, it's a truck. And I thought, I'll be able to get around it. And I turned the wheel to go around it. And as I was turning, I got into a full side slide and slammed into the side of the truck. And I remember watching the cab come really close and the tire to the cab. And on impact, everything on my left side shattered, all the glass and everything shattered. And I got knocked out because I had leather bucket seats and my head hit the passenger bucket seat. So if I had have got my best friend in the car that night on the way home from work at 7 o'clock on a Friday night, I would have killed her. I definitely would have killed my girlfriend, but I got knocked out. I thought I was dead. And then when I came to, there was an ambulance, there was ambos there was the Italian lady that lived up the road, and the ambulance guy was over my face in the car, and he was asking me all these questions about what year it is, who was the prime minister, and what's my name, and I couldn't see a thing because I'd actually literally watched that impact of that accident and all the glass shattering on my left-hand side of the car. I had a giant, about that size piece of glass in my eye. And I said, I can't see, I've got something in my eye. So he said, keep really still, be really still. So I was, and he popped that piece of glass out and got me in the ambo. And once he got me in the ambo, I could see clearly. I could see him anyway. And he was still asking me the same questions. What's your name? What year is it? Who's the president? And I just went, can I ask you a question? And he goes, yeah, you can ask me a question. I said, do you have a girlfriend? And he goes, no. I said, do you want to go out on a date? He goes, we're not allowed to date patients. So no, I can't. I said, why not? You're cute. It'd be good. And he just went, no, can't do that. Sorry, doll. I'm not doing that. I'm not dating patients. Dear. But look, it took me a long time to recover after that accident. And then once I got through that accident, I started seeing dead people, and I seen a lot of freaking dead people. And I was telling people, because we were out in the bush this day with my brand new old beat up truck, that we'd taken out, it actually had a paint job done with a brush, a paintbrush instead of a spray job. It was a 1963 Ford Falcon. Oh my God, that car was just a laugh. It was a laugh of a car. It was a comic. It was comic. Anyway, we're out in the bush and we pull up at these just bricks. It was just a few bricks lying around and it looked like an old fireplace. Next minute, I seen these two little blonde-headed, look like Dutch or Norwegian girls, little twins with blonde plaited hairs in their grey pinafores, their little white shirts, carrying a milk bucket. And I'm like, because my sister was there, and I said, Lise, do you see those little girls? And she goes, no. What girls? And I went, those girls. And she goes, no, I don't. And the girls stopped and looked at me. And I just went, I'm going back to the car. And Lisa goes, so am I. If you're seeing things like that, I'm coming back to the car with you. So we ended up in the car and other people heard me. And then they looked at me like I was fucking weird. But yeah, basically from that moment on, I started seeing a lot of spirits everywhere, animals. Could zone in. I started sensing the energies and how I could read energies and things like that. What's going on? Okay, message has been held. Yeah, I'm in Australia. Whereabouts? I'm in Coffs Harbour area. What was gross? What was gross about that? Tim H. Yeah, but when all this accident happened, I was in Sale, Victoria, on the Princess Highway. Oh yeah, and it was quite bizarre. Yeah, it did turn my life. I knew I'd been able to see things different as a kid, because people, when I was a kid and repeating things, it wasn't the same as all the other kids that repeated stuff. So yeah. So this is not going as well as I would like it, like YouTube does. I mean, TikTok just goes off. It's off. It's off and running, and huge amount of people jump on TikTok when I do this. So I just thought I'd jump on YouTube and give YouTube a go and try and get this side of my platform going. It just doesn't seem to want to go. So yeah, maybe I need to learn to put something up on the screen about what I do, how it works, and try and get some people interested in that way. Not sure. I'm a bit illiterate to this sort of stuff. I'm trying to figure it out as I go along. Normally I'm out in the bush walking the dog, but that's got a bit boring because it's just the same old bush track, same old incidents basically happening out there. But I was keeping it going, keeping YouTube going live on YouTube out in the bush because of certain people out there. Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. It was, but yeah, police have been involved, court cases have happened, and even though she is super, super, super fragile, I just stand proud, walk past, don't say a thing, and try not to attract too much animosity from her. So, yeah. I've been on here for nearly half an hour. Just waiting for some people to pop on, ask me a question, a yes/no question, so I can answer it for you. Follow the page and share the live, and yeah, we'll get going. So I can answer the question. I don't use the cards. I just hold them, play with them while I'm answering questions. It's almost like an autism thing that you've got a sensory. Just have something in your hand to distract you. That's why I'm doing this. So yeah, if you want a yes/no question answered, just follow the page and share the live and put your question up and I'll answer it. And just play with the cards. I use energy. I'm an energy worker. Enjoy using energy. Yeah, I'm in Australia. Skills PM. I'm in the Coffs Harbour. I'm in New South Wales, in the Coffs Harbour area. If you know Australia, it's like top of Australia, bottom of Australia, nearly in the middle. Hi, how are you? I'm nearly in the middle of Australia, so that's where I am. But I do love the mountains. Yes, I was born in Sydney. I was born in one of the suburbs in Sydney, in one of the big women's hospitals. Islap, hi. Do you like One Piece? Yeah, I like where I am. I've been all around Australia. I've been 3/4 of around Australia. I've been to Alice Springs, which is in the middle, in the desert, in the middle. I've been down from there in Adelaide, looking for paradise, looking for a piece of paradise too. I already moved from Victoria, which is down the bottom of Australia, halfway up to the Coffs Harbour area in 1983, and met my husband. And then I was here for 30 odd years, and then I moved off the mountain to Victoria. We were going to go around Australia. That didn't work. We bought another block of land in Australia, down in Victoria. Then I wanted to come home. I wanted to come back up to this mountain, and the partner I was with then wouldn't let me come back. I was not financial enough to just leave him and do it on my own. And then I've been far up in the northern Queensland, Mackay, looking for this, but then they've got crocodiles in the water. They've got stingers in the water. They've just got heat, incredible heat that is unbearable at night. Here where I am, it will go down it'll get down in the middle of summer to about 16 degrees, which is really nice. And sometimes you can get a bit of dewy on the grass, so it's lovely. In a cave near the Uluru South. Oh my God, that is amazing. Skills. Wow. That would be awesome. What a beautiful place. Living in a cave. You're so lucky. Hopefully you've got some provisions that are keeping you going. Hopefully you've got provisions. Hopefully it's not too hot out there for you. Little solar panel household fan would be good. And a fly net for your face. Good. I'm glad to hear you've got provisions, because living in a cave, look, all I wanted to do when I was a teenager was own 5 acres if I could. But in the back of my mind, if that didn't work, I was just going to be a beach bum and live on the beach and build myself a humpy. Back then, you can fantasize as a kid what your life's going to be. Well, my life was going to be living on the beach in a humpy, and just love life on the beach. I went there. I went to Uluru in 2015, and before I even got to Uluru, my daughter's driving, and all of a sudden I went, and I went, we're getting close, and I got goosebumps and goosebumps and goosebumps, and I couldn't see it, but I just felt this energy, and I'm like, we're getting close, aren't we? We're getting really close. And she goes, what are you talking about, Mum? I said, we're getting close to Uluru. I can feel it. I can sense it. And then next minute we pop up over this rise, and there it was up in the distance. I just started crying. I cried and I cried, and I looked at my daughter, and it was like I'd given birth to her all over again. And I just started crying. She goes, Mum, you're right. This is just amazing. This is beautiful. Yeah, I started crying, and I didn't want to leave Uluru. Yeah, but she made me like, all I wanted to do when I got to Alice Springs was just like, I grew up with my Auntie Ida was a stolen generation, and her son was Rodney, and he was like our stepbrother. She gave Rodney to us when she couldn't look after him. So Rodney had come and live with us. So Annie, it was like we're blood. And then Annie Ida finally found out where she was originally from, and her father was the king of Arnhem Land. And you know something, I never told my kids that story because I didn't really know it until I hooked up with Rodney, because I'd lost contact with him for so long. And I finally got hold of Rodney in 2018, and we chatted, and he talked all about Annie Ida and that she'd gone home to her country. It was up in Arnhem Land, and that she discovered that her father was the king, so he was royalty. And then my daughter had a baby in 2020, and she named him Arnhem. Oh, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, Uluru. Yeah, so that was pretty incredible. It was a really amazing trip. And I just said to my daughter, why did I take so long to come out here? It is amazing, absolutely amazing. So yeah, took a long time, but I finally got there. Yeah, and I didn't climb the rock. I respected the spirit of the rock. I just didn't, and community. I respected the land, the community, and I didn't climb. I didn't want to. I didn't have to. I knew that was an amazing, I was just privileged to be there. So, and in awe of being there.